Hey.
stress-free, leave your kids at home. Leave your kids at home. Do your two-step, get your groove on. This is feel good music, you can move on. Relax, stress-free, leave your kids at home. Leave your kids at home.
Yes, here we are once again on a Tuesday. It is the Keto Cookout, and you know what we do here? This is a show about nothing with a couple of nobodies. Hey, listen, what is better than two nobodies?
Nobody?
Three nobodies.
Look who it is. It's Mr. Bob.
Well, he is somebody. That's not fair. I can speak for myself, and I can speak for you, Rick, but I will not speak for my Buckeye brother, semi-retired Bob.
You know, I apologize for being a floating head today. I was getting all set up and completely forgot I had on a green T-shirt, but then I was already in your backstage area and thought, well, it'll be all right.
It reminds me of a song. I ain't got nobody. Hey, listen, I am prone to sing a song every now and again on here.
Oh, that's okay.
We'd
like to hear you sing, Russ.
I've been known to carry a tune. I've been known to drop a couple of them as well. So, you know, we do it all here. Bob is in early because Bob already has his fuzzy pajamas on, I'm sure, and is had someone read him a bedtime story. So he's just about ready to be tucked in. But I'm so glad you're here. I'm always glad when you come in to see us there, Bob.
Yeah, no, I'm just chilling out tonight, relaxing, doing some leg stretches because I had dance class this afternoon, and
gotcha.
With just 2 weeks to go, it was fun, but let's just say it was not a fun time.
I understand. Yes, Bob. And for those who don't know, ladies and gentlemen, Bob does ballet, and his feet are a mess. Woo, man, it's just terrible.
Well, this year it's a tap dance.
I'm just kidding. He does not wear a tutu, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who we got. Although he might like to on occasion. Let's see who we got.
All right, I'm out of here. See you guys later.
No, don't do that. Carnivore Muscle is here. What's going on?
Hello, Jonathan.
Good to see you.
Hey,
Stevie
Jonathan.
Carmack. says this should be interesting. It's always,
It always
interesting
is.
and fun. That's what we do here. And he may have been talking about something else in the chat. I don't know. Phil Grandma's here. Good to see you. Of course, glad you are here. Who else is with us here? Lori's Carnivore Story. Hello there, beloved. Good to see you. My beloved Sandy is with us. Hey, Sandy. Good to see you. Doc Nelson. Always good to see my brother, Dr. Nelson there. Charlie, may the fat be with you. Dr. Carnivore, half man, half amazing. If you've ever seen him at a Brazilian steakhouse, you know what I'm talking about. Crank, my Arizona buddy there is here. Carnivore Keith, good to see you, man.
I got the best subscribers.
Yeah, man. Let's appreciate all you guys being here. Terry Sue says, watching on Roku.
Oh,
love that. As long as you're watching, we don't care. And Sandy says, I love tap dancing. There you go. So that's you want to tell us a little bit more about how long have you been taking dance lessons, and what type of dances are you, would you say, good at? Maybe better than average.
Well, I've been dancing since I was about 3. I've always been a big tap dancer, but apparently my dance instructors when I was younger thought I was better at ballet, because in junior high, I did the Nutcracker with the the Columbus Metropolitan Ballet Company.
Oh, how about
And
that?
then my sophomore and junior years in high school, I did the Nutcracker with the New York City Ballet. But
Yeah.
I've been doing I've done it all, but I primarily have done tap dancing since I moved out here to Omaha. The gal who I take from, this is the 35th year of her studio, and I know that not because she just has all the signs up that say 35-year anniversary, but I laid the floor in her very first studio. When I first moved out here, I had always thought, this is back before I found Carnivore, of course. I had always thought that, well, I really started to gain weight when I stopped dancing. And so I thought, well, I'll see if I can't pick up some dancing. Well, I moved out to Omaha in February of 90. And of course, once you get past January, all of the dance studios are getting ready for their big year-end concerts. Some people would call those recitals. But so I couldn't even really get anybody to talk to me. But there was a gal her name was Beth Gaines. And she said, well, I have this adult jazz class that is not going to be doing the concert. So you're welcome to come join them. So I showed up, and Mary Lorraine was the teacher. And it's a very funny story. They didn't tell us, because of the way things work, she didn't tell us she was leaving after that year. And I didn't know how to find her. I went to call home, but forgot to dial the area code. And it turns out that my mom's phone number in Ohio was the same number as Mary Lorraine's new dance studio number here in Omaha.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I picked up the phone and dialed her studio number and dialed mom's phone number without putting the 614 on it for Ohio. And she answered the phone, Mary Lorraine's Dance Center. It's like, well, I was trying to call my mom, but you'll do. And the rest, as they say, is history. She filled me in on what she was doing, and I went over and helped her lay the floor in her new studio. And then, because I've always been kind of a sound guy, I wired that studio. Plus, as she moved into bigger and bigger studios, I wired all of her studios for sound.
Oh, I love that. No, that's awesome, man. Well, I have someone that I know. Her name is Kaylee Oliver. She dances with Alvin Ailey in New York. She lives in New York. It's part of the troupe there. I guess they call it a troupe. I don't know what they call it, a squadron. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, she's pretty big time. She's been all over the world and all that stuff there. She's a girl. And
yeah, Mary I'm sorry.
No, I said yes.
Yeah.
She was very talented.
Yeah. And Mary Lorraine, she did some acting for a while too, because she was in Chicago in a dance company in Chicago after she got out of college. And the biggest thing, if you ever watch the movie Untouchables, when he is sitting in the courtroom during those long courtroom scenes, the girl sitting behind him is my dance teacher in the movie Untouchables.
I love that. That's an outstanding story. Lawrence Conover says, I love being called my believed. I think she meant my beloved. Well, beloved, we are family here. We love everybody. So the dudes, we don't have to say that to the dudes. We just give them the, give them the nod, give them the
high five and the fist
bump. Yeah, that's right. The carnivore nod there. We give them one of those. But the ladies, they are beloved. They are all beloved. Love my carnivore cuties, all my low carb ladies all over the world.
All my cuties have feathers.
Yeah. Sandy says, I saw Bob's tap dancing video. He is awesome. Yes, I love that. Laura says, I tried tap, could not master it. Doc Nelson says, I have to dance myself out of trouble with the missus. Yes, there's a lot of guys. Hey, I don't know if they can dance, but their hairline is doing the moonwalk. I can tell you that. Hey, listen, Papa Carnivore, my man. What's happening? Good to see you. Kitchen Rich says, this is where I belong. That's right. It's Tuesday night. You belong right here with us hanging out. Thank you, Rick, Russ, and Bob. You are welcome. And there you go. Anybody else here? Kitchen Rich says, went to the Marie Shaw School of Dance when I was 10. I could have been something. Yes, an expelled student from the Marie Shaw School of Dance. I'm just kidding. That is just a joke. I'm a clown. That just jokes here. Just jokes. Pete says, who invited the other tall carnivore Quack Jr.? I don't know. Let's see here.
He must be talking about Rick because I'm 5'6".
Yeah, listen. Hey, you don't need an invitation when you're home, brother. Come on now. You don't need an invitation. He's at home right here. So see here. Paul Hill says, hey guys, listening while sitting on a mower at work in the far north of Australia. How cool is technology? Yes, I agree with you.
Absolutely.
And you're cool too, because you are listening to us. I anoint you.
That's right.
Cool as a fan. See, I think anyway. So yes, that's good. What about you, Rick? Any dancing in your history?
Well, let me put it to you this way. If you see me dancing, you better call 911 because something's ready to either explode, melt down, or drive off. So
only when you had to pee, is that what you're trying to say? You did a little
or I
dance?
stepped in a fire ant pile, or I got a duck trying to attack me. But then again, they don't attack me. But on the news, some lady got attacked by a duck. I posted that on my channel. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I saw that on the news. I had to grab my camera. I said, this is crazy. I was laughing. I was so hard not to laugh when I recorded it. When I watched it again, I kept laughing and laughing. I need to do a reaction video. That thing was funny.
I thought of you today for some odd reason. We have a retention pond probably about maybe 200 or 300 yards from where I live here at the end down there. And for some reason, I don't know why, but just randomly, geese will just show up in my yard. Of all the yards around, I guess they just take turns. They must have some type of rotation or some type of goose calendar that they adhere to. And it's just like, hey, the next Tuesday, it's Mitchell. They just, I don't know. They just come and they hang out like they own the place. I mean, they go back there and they just sit down and lay down and they just hang out. I don't have any water. I don't have any kind of foods. I mean, nothing. They just show up. And
have you got a net?
Yeah, no, I got a house full of guns though. But they just hang out back there, and then it's crazy. It's the craziest thing. You'll hear some geese away. I don't know where they are. You just hear the goose noise, and then they'll just up and leave and go follow that call, I guess. I mean, it's like there's some type of goose conductor who is out there he's conducting goose traffic around the neighborhood. I mean, there's like 8 or 10 of them just hanging, sitting down. Then all of a sudden, you hear off in the distance, and then they just and they start flying away. It's like, break time is over. Back to the goose plant, Going
back to Canada.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but it's like probably quarterly. They just descend upon my yard. And I don't know. I'm going to ask my neighbor if they do that with him. I'm like, do these things ever just descend in your yard like a quarterly visit?
Get a big old net, and grab a couple of them and bring them into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Delicious.
So I thought of you when I looked out there. I looked at they're in the backyard. I have cameras around. I looked at my cameras and I saw them back there in the backyard. I just shook my head. I'm like, Frick was here. It'd be Armageddon.
Next thing you know, Rick's got a cooking video. We're gonna do heart attack goose and roast goose.
You're gonna have to. You can come up here and build some type of booby trap for him, some type of rig something up, man. So it's like when I see him back there, I can push the little button on the blue, and like a big net falls down to the bottom, like the earth just drops underneath that. Of course, that won't work. They have wings. That's a bad idea.
Yeah. And Rick and Russ are going to be playing the adult version of Duck Duck Goose.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, yes, and I just keep them there until you can get here with the killing fields. You have to make them like a mobile guillotine. A traveling guillotine. You can just slide them in there, man. But they're big too. They ain't no little. Listen, these geese. There was no baby geese amongst them. These were grown geese. These were grandpa and grandma geese.
Mm-hmm.
And they were big old things, man.
Nice and tasty.
Yeah. So that's hello there. I think I saw Brenda in here. I think I saw yes. Good evening, beloved. It is so good to see you, Brenda. Glad you're here. Laurie says, as a mom of 3 little dancers, we cannot make them stick with it. Yeah, you got to get them on TikTok. I think that's the thing. I see people on TikTok dancing all the time. I mean, it's like if people can't wait to get on there and shake it.
Yeah, well, getting kids to stick with it is just like getting adults to stick with carnivore. If you don't love it, if you don't truly like it and love it, you're not going to stick with it.
Yeah. I would imagine it depends on the styles, because I'm guessing, I'm not sure of anything. I'm guessing, some stuff, like for instance, ballet. Is got to be one of the hardest and most demanding, things on your body to do, I would think, when I see what they're doing, as opposed to some of these other dances I see, like, I think what's that? A lot of people do the swing dancing, and that kind of stuff that doesn't appear. It looks to be more fun. The music is more modern. Ballet is a lot of times to classical music and things like that maybe young kids, they're listening to, Taylor Swift and that stuff like that. If they dance to music they like, I'm guessing.
Ballet's for tiny little skinny people.
Yeah, but I mean, if you know what I'm trying to say, Bob, am I making any sense here? Or am I?
Yeah, and back in the day, I was a tiny little skinny person.
I'm skinny, but I'm not tiny.
I was tiny. When I started 7th grade, I weighed 65 pounds soaking wet.
I
was 65 pounds when I was born.
I may have been smaller than that. I was smaller than anybody in 9th grade.
No, I was always the big kid. But I used to cut a rug in the clubs now. Now, that was only dancing. I never had any formal dancing, but hey, when I was young and in my prime, I used to do it all the time.
Yeah, and that kind of dancing I've never really done. I'm not any good at that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was back in the 90s, And when I was just out of high school and college, yeah, man, I was in there cutting the rug. So you never did any kind of, I mean, I'm not saying you had to be in there, like a soul train line dancer, but you never went out to hang out
No,
with buddies
no.
or
Well, I
anything?
mean,
Like,
you
can you
have
do the
you have
electric,
to
can you do the
you
electric
have to
slide?
you have to understand what my younger life was like. I graduated from high school on a Sunday afternoon, and Monday morning I left for the army.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Well, them guys in the army can do some dancing too. On the weekends, buddy, they cut loose.
We never got the closest thing I got to dancing is when I had to get tossed out of the airplane because I couldn't do it.
Hey,
And
listen, I'm part
to be in the unit I was in, you had to be jump qualified.
Hey, listen, I partied with many military people back in the day, and believe me, a lot of them they knew how to they could shoot a rifle and dance. That's for sure.
I just never did that kind of stuff.
I like to watch the sand cranes. Don't you love that? Jiffy says, "Good evening." Jiffy, somebody started a terrible rumor about her dancing on tables at some point in her life. I don't know. I don't know who started that rumor, but a pox on their house. I rebuked them in the name of ketosis. I put ketogenic curses upon them. Whoever started that hideous, that terrible, despicable rumor about about Jiffy dancing on tables at some point many years ago. Lori's Carnivore Story said blue herons are cool. Love that. Guided mediations. Hello, everyone watching from the Philippines. I love that.
Yep.
You win the award for the furthest away, I think. Well, maybe not. We got some Australian. We got some down under people. I don't know which is farther. I'm not nearly smart enough to know that kind of thing. But I have a feeling Mr. Geographical don't even have an address guy might know the answer to that.
Oh, you looking at me? No.
Yeah, which is farther away from us? The Philippines or Australia? I would say Australia probably. It's literally on the other
Australia,
side.
because to fly to Australia from here, you go to Japan and then you go to Hawaii, Japan, the Philippines, and then on down to Australia.
See? I told you he'd know the answer. I know, listen, I know my people here. Brenda says, today is my hubby's birthday. Longhorn steak and lamb for supper. I love that. Happy birthday to Mr. Brenda Foley. I love that. Happy birthday to him. So, here, Lord, so there was no TikTok when mine were little, but I have stellar home videos.
We had movies when I was a kid.
There you go, Lori. The discos. Well, disco was kind of over. Disco was more 70s. We were just in
duck.
We were more in the clubs in the 90s. It was more the club scene. It was the beginning of hip hop before hip hop got disgusting and vile.
And that might be why I never did that kind of dancing, because discos were really big back then. And
that is true. You are older than me.
And disco music just didn't do it for me. I mean, I was more into Led Zeppelin, the heavy rock.
Disco classic,
what we call
anyway.
Classic rock, as opposed to discos where go if you really like the Bee Gees.
Yes, Staying Alive. Yeah. Although, listen, I did like the Bee Gees. They weren't a bad group. They were probably the best of the disco era, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I love some of their songs, Emotion and
Donna Summer.
Yeah, Donna Summer. Yeah, she was
Village People. They were fruity.
She did. No, Donna Summer didn't do I Will Survive. That was Gloria Gaynor, I think.
Right.
First I was afraid. I was petrified. Thinking I can't even get it out.
Disco was so gay.
Yeah, that was not a song for dudes. Yeah. Not unless you're doing hair and skipping to work. Let's see here who we have. Interpretive dance. I did listen. I'm not afraid to. I am not ashamed to say it. That for a while, I used to watch Dancing with the Stars pretty regular. I'm, I don't think I lose any masculinity points for that. There were a couple years, they had some of those NFL guys on there. They had Warren Sapp, and I think Emmett Smith won it actually one year. He played for the Cowboys, of course. Not that I'm a Cowboys fan, but I found some of those guys. It was interesting that they would take on that challenge, and so I watched a few of those seasons. Now, my bingo guy was on there, Ocho Cinco. He was on the show there for a while. Of course, being a Bengals fan, I had to see that. So, but remarkably, and I'm sure Bob will attest to this, those NFL guys and football guys, a lot of them have great feet. I mean, their footwork and their quickness, and they're very light on their feet, very athletic. So, a lot of them were pretty good.
Well, they have to be. I mean, you just if you look at people like Warren Sapp, or any of the new current guys like T.J. Watt, they will tell you that it all starts on the offensive and defensive line in the footwork.
Yeah. And you see them do those drills. I mean, man, they got to have quick feet. So I guess you can learn their dance moves, and being light on your feet is definitely a plus. Paul says the only dancing I know how to do is the white boy side to side. So now that is called a two-step, brother. That's what they call it in America, the two-step. Hey, you can't lose with the two-step, man. You just just stay on beat. That's all you gotta do. It never goes out of style. You always look cool. Just stay on the beat. That's all you got to do. It works. It's timeless. It's a timeless dance. I also love classic rock, but if I want to dance, it had to be the discos. Yes, some people are aging themselves here with them. You talk about being in
think?
I know. Listen, I know what the discos were, but I can honestly say I've never been to a disco. I was a 90s kind of guy. I was in the club. Yeah. Let's see here. Got a mediation says I love music, but music doesn't love me back. All right. Not sure what that means, but I'm sure you can mediate, and meditate about it there. I think I said Mediations channel. I've been sued many times. Yeah, that's Meditations channel. I'm sure there's some type of music that sits well with you, my dear. Let's see. Food for thought. Question everything. What's up, guys from Vancouver, Canada? Good to see you, brother. Glad you're here. Yes, Dick Clark's American Bandstand. That's right. I watched American Bandstand for a little bit. Of course, Soul Train and all those great shows were on. Train. Yeah, man, they could cut a rug.
Oh yeah,
This is the Carlton. Now that's funny. Not to be confused with the Charleston. Okay, they are they are not the same thing.
The Charleston, which was a 20s dance.
Yeah, that 20s music was good.
Big band music, I love big band music.
I like big band. I have all the records and 8-tracks and cassettes.
And Russ probably doesn't even know what an 8-track is.
I beg your pardon, sir. I most certainly do. My dad had a 1979 Impala with an 8-track in it.
Okay.
Charles says, I like to pick on people who watch lots of TV, so I call those shows things like Dancing with Some Has-Been. And Mom says, I'm special. Yeah, Dancing with the Stars has kind of turned into a little bit of that. That's where, people go to try to revisit their career.
What was the last TV show that I watched?
Wild Kingdom, Marlon Perkins.
Well, I watched that a lot. No, the last
that was
TV
right
show,
here in Omaha.
Yeah. Well, it's sponsored by Mutual of Omaha, but was the show actually in Omaha?
Oh yeah, they filmed it out at the zoo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The first building that was ever built out there at the Henry Dorley Zoo was the Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom Pavilion.
Huh. Interesting. Well, no, the last show I watched was that stupid show called Lost. And after that, I had it with TV.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've never seen it, but
Yeah,
I don't watch too much. A few things I don't. Mostly just sports and my financial shows.
Well, YouTube came in 2006. And then by 2010, I figured, well, why would I watch TV when I could go on YouTube and make videos? So
That's right. I watch people when they can watch you.
that's it. And I can watch them. And
Rick thought Wild Kings was a cookie show. That's right. That's right. You don't have
Which
to watch.
reminds me of one of the greatest memes I've ever seen. It's a pair of really fat lions waddling away from the ark. And they said, man, that cruise was rough, but the buffet was awesome.
Yeah, Rick didn't have to watch Wild Kingdom. He lives Wild Kingdom. I remember one time I was back many years ago when I was in corporate America. This was in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I worked at a company and they were having diversity training and everybody had to go. And I went to the boss and I said, why do I need to have diversity? I don't need diversity. I am diversity. It's like, why are you going to tell me about diversity? He thought that was really funny.
But I bet he still made you go.
Yes, he said, everybody's got to do it. Our lawyer said so. Okay.
Oh, yeah. They made us go through that when I taught at the college. But then somebody got mad at me because I used a 3-letter word that started with an F and ended with a G. And that just really turned everything upside down. I don't know why.
Fog?
Close.
Problem with,
Just replace the O with an A, and you got it.
No, don't say it. We don't want to. I don't need YouTube taking. Hey, listen, it'll be the first video we get taken down for some type of slur.
And what's funny about that, if you had said that word to either Rick or myself back when we were in our teens, we would have thought you were talking about smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overseas.
Well, that's it. That used to refer to cigarette. All the British people used to say that.
Yes. Yeah. No, so that is crazy. So you got fired for that?
No, I didn't get fired for that.
Oh, I thought you said you. Yeah.
No, I got into a bit of a battle, because we had somebody in the fashion department that was aggravating me a lot and making fun of me. Said I was I forget, Neanderthal or something like that. I don't know. So anyway,
I can see that.
Well, I said, look, I'd rather be a caveman than a F, whatever.
Oh.
And it was like,
Wow.
I'm not saying I have anything against that lifestyle because I have a good friend that is of that lifestyle and him just fine with him. But he doesn't act like that. I mean, he's been a carnivore since 2001 and he's built, he reminds me of an older version of Jonathan, the big blonde muscle guy. But he used to call people that too. He would call his friends that and they'd laugh at each other because they thought it was funny. But it just slipped out.
Yeah. Well, moving on to something diet related, we have this is the portion of the show, ladies and gentlemen, where you may learn something. So, folks that don't care to do that, I cannot blame you. My deepest apologies, and you can take a break here. Two things. One, I saw Dr. Barry sent out a message. He was doing a carnivore challenge with some folks there, which I think is wonderful. If you don't know who Dr. Ken Berry is or haven't been to his channel or anything like that, we always shout him out. He's our guy. And I would love to do that challenge, but I'm already in a challenge. It's called Life. So that's the challenge I'm in, just everyday life. That's the only challenge I need right now. But I did see some things in the news, and one of them was the FDA or HHS or whatever, RFK. He's one of us, more or less. And he has made some new, I guess, legislation or some new guidelines and rules about food dyes and taking them out of foods. Now, I don't know a lot about that, but I know that there are smart people here who know about that. So, if you know something about food dyes or have a food dye story or a food dye allergy or something like that, we'd like to just touch on that um, and see what you guys think about that. Uh, and what do you know anything about food dyes, Bob, or what they're made
I,
of, or which ones are more? I've heard red number
uh,
5 is like just the devil.
quite a few of them are actually were originally used as fabric dyes. Most of them are petroleum based.
Oh,
One of them was one of the yellows. I don't remember which one, but one of the yellows that's on the banned list. I don't remember the name of the substance, but it was a byproduct when they turned coal into coke for using in blast furnaces. This stuff was a byproduct, and they didn't know what to do with it, but they noticed it had a yellowish color to it, so they turned it into fabric dye. And of course, because people were getting rashes because the fabric dye was getting into their skin from the fabrics, they said that it couldn't be a fabric dye anymore. So some British scientist said, hey, let me have a stab at that. And he put it through another chemical process to take some of the bad stuff out of it and add some more yellow to it. And voila, a yellow food dye that was originally taken out as a fabric dye because it was causing irritation to your skin in the fabrics that they were putting it in. That's the kind of stuff we're dealing with in our food.
So it's basically chemicals. It's not kind of this thing like seed oils or anything like that per se. This is more chemicals. Are they carcinogenic, cancer causing, maybe things of that nature?
Well, it's really hard to say, but they're all petroleum based, and I don't know how many gallons of no lead do you want to eat with your dinner tonight.
Right. No, I understand. I get that.
Well,
yeah, I'm not familiar. Speaking of lead gasoline, there. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, one of the things that I remember about the yellow dye, there was a compound that they got from, and it was coal tar, and I think it was called tartrazine. And tartrazine was something that they were using as a clothing dye, but some genius decided to put it in food. And I'm not sure why they would do that, because if they wanted a yellow color, they could have done what I did to my mom's popcorn. I just get turmeric from my yard and mix it in with the lard, and it would turn the popcorn yellow. And she thought it was better than what you get at the movie theater. But I think what it comes down to is cheapness. Basically make a profit. So instead of having to go and get things like saffron or turmeric or all these other things, they could just get some of this chemical. They were putting it in the rice down here, because I know the Cubans and the Latin Americans, they love that yellow rice. So they were using that to dye the rice yellow. And it just seemed really strange to me. It's like the food coloring that people used to dye Easter eggs with. And I'm thinking to myself, and you're going to put that stuff in the food? I mean, seriously. But I have a friend of mine that's a vegan, and she was eating some kind of, I don't remember what it was. It was some kind of mystery vegan concoction. And I think it had a red dye in it. And it caused her to get a serious skin rash and allergies and all kinds of stuff. It was, I don't know if it was a fake meat product or if it was some kind of veggie crap. I don't know what it was, but it was like some kind of stew. And, I said, look, you're eating this stuff. I looked at the label. I'm like, look at all these ingredients. You got phosphate, dye this, and mono that, and food coloring 1, 2, and 3, and red and green. I'm like, you ought to give this up. Oh, but this is, the latest and greatest. I'm like, okay. She gave it up, felt better. So it really does make you wonder about what those dyes have done to people. And again, I don't eat them because I don't think they dye the iguanas and ducks before I get them. I mean, when I cut up an iguana, it's always white inside. So I don't think
it dies when you're around it. Yeah, when you say dye, food dyes, You're talking about something altogether different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josephine, good to see you, beloved. Glad you are here. Who else look at Bruce. Bruce is here. Speaking of sleepy people, Arg, my man Chance is here. Everybody's favorite carnivore pirate. Glad to see you, brother. Chicago's best there. Carnivore Keith says, I knew a kid who went totally berserk when he ate something with red 40 in it. So, yeah, that's crazy. So, I guess there's 40 different red dyes. I mean, again, this is educational for me because I'd heard about it. I'd heard people say, oh, food dyes and stuff, but I never knew exactly what they were made of, exactly what they do to people, and exactly why they're harmful. I wasn't aware of these things.
And the bottom,
go ahead, Bob.
Well, the bottom line on all this is if you look at a bag of Doritos that is sold in the United States versus a bag of Doritos that's sold in the UK. I know, Rick, you don't like either of them, but if you look at the two,
you got the gas face.
The reason the ingredients list is so different is because there are, I don't know, 40 or 50 ingredients that they put in food here to be sold in the United States for profit that have already been banned in the European Union.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I heard RFK talking about that so many things are, I guess, it's like, especially in kids' foods, but not just kids' foods, but kids' foods, the cereals and all the different things. Kids love the bright colors and the candy and the colorful things like that. It's alluring to them. And so, yeah, but in other places, they don't allow it. Phil Grandma says, my older grandson used to get so itchy if he got food with too much dye and would start chewing on his arms. Oh my. Yeah. That's a reason to ban it. I can go for that.
That's ridiculous. Why would anybody eat Doritos when you could just eat pork rinds? They're so much better.
I know. I was just using that as an example.
Yes. Laura says, I learned at a very young age that dyes were a problem for me. I couldn't eat the cheese and the Kraft dinner without getting a migraine. Well, that could be there's a lot more than just dyes in that.
It's not even cheese.
Yeah, it's glue.
It's nasty. It looks like caulking. Looks like something you put in a caulking gun and go around your window.
And that stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, Jersey Tom's with us. What's going on there, buddy? Good to see you, man. I remember there being a big thing when I was a kid about the red M&Ms being recalled. Oh, now that was just me. I wanted to eat them all. I like the red ones.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. CB Carmack says, I like what Anthony Chapin said about dyes. He said, so they're taking dyes out of Fruit Loops, but the real problem is eating Fruit Loops. Yes. Well, a little bit at a time there, CB. We'll just take the dyes out first.
Yeah, Fruit Loops are still not good for kids, but as other people have said, the Fruit Loops are still not going to be good for kids, but without the dyes, they will be less bad.
Yeah, especially if they want to hurt themselves and, they're itching so bad. I mean, good grief.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of itching, the tooth powder that I got from Laura made my gums itch. But no, I'm just kidding. It's my beautiful sister, Laura. She will be here with us. I can't. She'll be here with us next week, and she is the best. Russell Brands with a Z.com for all your health and beauty aid needs. Yes, our food has to die first. Yes, we talk to carnivores about food dying. Yeah, it's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Carnivore Keith says Doritos ducks love it.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tll you one thing though. If they have a choice between Doritos and meat, they always get the meat first. So even a duck isn't that stupid.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's that fake chicken stuff that you dumped out that one time in one of your videos.
They wouldn't even touch that. Can you believe it? The Loma Linda Fritchick. They look.
No, say it right. That's fried chick.
Do you know what that crap is?
Of course I do. I grew up Seventh-day Adventist.
They didn't serve you that junk, did they?
Oh, are you, man? Let me tell you what.
Ew.
I have eaten my weight in fried chicken over the years when I was a kid. But listen, let me tell you what my mom would do. This. Of course, I come from a line of folks that can rattle them pans. Okay, that's how. Listen, I blame my mom for my weight problem. When I met her, I was 8 pounds 4 ounces. Okay, so you know I say more. So my mom used to get the fried chick. This is how. Listen, this is terrible, but I'm gonna say this on these live YouTube area. It's terrible, but I'm gonna. Hey, carnivore, hide your kids, hide your wives. I'm telling you what we used to do. My mom used to get it, chop it up, batter it, roll it in flour, deep fry it with onions. She'd make a gravy with onions and mushrooms, man, and there was nothing but lip smacking and forks clinking when she would make that and throwing over some mashed potatoes up. That's what we ate when I was a kid. We weren't vegetarian, but any type of church activities didn't allow meat. A lot of people don't know this about Seventh-day Adventists. Only about a third of them are vegetarian. 7 out of 10 Seventh-day Adventists are not vegetarians, and we were not vegetarians growing up. But when the church had potlucks or we had church events, they didn't allow any meat at the church. So all of my family and everybody that ate meat all the time would have to veg it up for the church potlucks. And so my mom and my Aunt Wanda, man, they would hook that stuff. They would get all that vegetarian meat and they would doctor it up and deep fry it and throw it in some gravy with some onions and mushrooms and stuff, and it was delicious. And then I went to Adventist high school, boarding school, and college, and much the same. They didn't do it like my mom and my Aunt Wanda, but we ate all that stuff, just we didn't know any better. It was 30 years ago for me.
I wonder what they fried that in.
And now you can go to Rick's channel and see that a duck won't even touch that stuff.
Yeah.
It's
a bunch of wheat and gluten and soy. I tell you what, though, I would be willing to bet you anything that old stuff we ate 30 years ago is 10 times better than the stuff they're making now. I mean, it's
probably
what's in that Beyond Meat and all that stuff man. I mean, I'm sure the old stuff that we ate 30 years ago was much better than that.
You remember when Burger King had the Impossible Whopper?
They still do, I think.
Oh, a friend of mine got that. His girlfriend was vegan. He took one bite out of it and said, "This is awful." He threw it to my ducks. The ducks devoured the bread, the tomato, the pickles, everything, and they left the patty on the ground. So I said, that stuff must be really bad if a duck won't eat it.
Oh, look who popped in to say, "Hey, my beautiful friend, Limitless Lindy, beloved."
Yeah, now the real superstars are showing up. We got Limitless Lindy chat. Target Prime Rib is here. I see a message down there from Keto Simple. Like I said, the real superstars are here now.
Yeah, I gotta check up on Lindy there. I know she had surgery a while back, and I saw that online and all that. So it's hard to keep up with everybody. There's so many, but
I got 30 superstars in my jet.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop in and see you guys, Lindy, on your stream there soon. Tell Todd and Mike I said hey, and I appreciate you so much, sis. Let's see. Chan said it's amazing what they do to our food. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. When I think about it too, I totally agree. It's not even food. It's just like edible science projects. It's like it's just edible laboratory experiments.
Barely edible.
It's just. Pharaoh Grandma says chicken wings can be coated in straight up egg yolks and glaze them. You'd want to heart attack them, coat them, finish in hot oven. You got golden wings.
That's it. That sounds tasty.
Yeah, this is it says, yeah. And them's fighting words, sis. I'm just telling you right now. Yeah, if you come near me with the tinctures, prepare to defend yourself. I'm just telling you. Let's see here. Tom says he's gotta go. For work. Well, appreciate you coming by.
Yep.
Hanging out with us.
Have a great day.
Yeah. Bruce says, I've always thought his pork rinds as being kind of dry, but cooking stuff in the crock pot, they're pretty tasty when you pour the juice over it. Yeah, they don't agree with me.
Really?
I didn't grow up eating a lot of pork and stuff, and they go down okay. They don't come out all right. So
Yeah, I've never been really wild about the pork rinds you can buy today because I grew up in southern Ohio where we did a lot of hunting and didn't get we did get the occasional pork crackling that the neighbor guy would make after he butchered a hog, but you can basically do the same thing with deer. And we had a lot of deer fat cracklings that were made.
Same thing with beef.
Yeah, same thing you do with beef.
my man,
Can't do it with iguana, though.
says,
Dustin
"Sweet, amazing
is here.
gentlemen. Who are you calling gentlemen?" That's what I want to know.
He must be talking about you, Russ, because I know he ain't talking about me and Rick.
Nope. No shot there. Bruce says, I actually liked Burger King's Impossible Whopper. I ate a few of them between keto and carnivore while I was experimenting. Yeah, listen, I'm going to tell you, I don't care what anybody says. I grew up eating, and a lot of it is good. Of course, it's terrible for you. I didn't know better back in those days. It's funny when I think about it because there was a time in my life where I did go vegetarian for a while and thought that stuff is a lot better for me than, red meat is going to clog my arteries. Of course, I don't feel that way now. Some of it is pretty tasty, I have to say. They doctor it up and they have to do that to get people to buy it.
Tastes like an old tire.
Carnivore Sensations. Good day to you, my friend. Glad you're here. Dead Zergling says, I saw a ridiculous ad recently, oat milk or something like that, now with 50% more calcium. Yeah. Yes, oat milk. Yeah, that's I think it ought to be against the law that all that. There's no such thing as oat milk or almond milk. It's almond water,
Duck
oat
milk.
Water. Same way with plant butter. It's like, this is just oil sticks. It's not,
I think they call it peanut butter and they call it almond milk and all that kind of stuff because I don't think anybody could read an ad for nut juice with a straight face.
Well, I can understand peanut butter because it's peanuts that you can spread like butter. Okay, I got that. But plant butter, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being mean to the vegans out there.
No.
All right, they're mean to us. CB Carmack says, I believe Burger King was in a lawsuit because vegans found out they were cooking the Impossible Whopper on the same broiler as the beef Whoppers. Yeah, they were feeling good too, probably. They were like, man, I've never felt so good in all my life. So this Impossible Burger tastes amazing. Oh, that's funny. Yes, it would be a little challenge of milk and almond. What would you use? Tweezers? Yeah, exactly. It's almond water. That's what it is.
That's the hardest part about being a vegan because you got to get up every morning and milk the almonds for your cereal.
Just don't milk the ducks.
Yeah. Oh yes, you're right. You are right about that, for Grandma. Bob ain't got nobody.
There's one person here that doesn't have a virtual background.
Yes, yours is as real can get.
Mm-hmm.
If it's any more real, yeah, you'd be.
Well, I have to have a virtual background because I never clean the room that I'm sitting in. So behind the screen, it's a real mess.
No.
Yes,
My whole house is a mess.
I figure people got tired of having to include milk in their cereal. Just go straight to cereal, sugar water. No, it's much better with milk than water. So trust me. Don't ask me how I know. Long time ago. Long time. Kitchen Witch says was vegetarian for 1 year, about 20 years ago. Ended up in the ER.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not the life for me. That's for sure. My family comes in. I mean, I can, eat that stuff for a day or so, but yeah, it doesn't last very long with me either. Yeah, you gotta milk an almond. You just drop it in a bucket of water.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you milk it.
It's funny. If I try to eat something different than I normally eat, I end up on the toilet in 3 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah, your body, I'm sure, gets used to a certain way. I mean, your body's very resilient. It can take a lot of abuse, but once it gets used to something, and what, now I'm guessing there's a transition period.
Yeah.
Certainly it was that way for people when they're going from standard American diet to ketogenic. People have there's a week or two of transition, and then it smooths out for them. And
Yeah. And your gut microbiome adjusts to it. And basically, the bugs from your gut that like to chew up on other stuff, they die off, so that if you eat something you don't normally eat, you don't have the bugs to deal with that, which is why it will run right through you.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to say that, well, that's a problem, which is why, this whole, I can't say that on the air, this whole stuff about carb cycling that we've seen on some of the other people's videos over the course of the last couple of years. They get into that because they think they want to keep their gut microbiome diverse, so that if they decide to eat something else, they can. And if you're planning on eating some of that crap from time to time, then perhaps it's not a bad idea. But if you're planning on being a carnivore, which that's what I'm doing because I feel best when I basically just eat ground beef, I don't need the bugs that can digest the crap anymore. And that's, I'm sure, what happens to you, Rick, because you've been carnivore for so long.
Sure.
If you eat something your body's not used to, you just don't have the bugs for it, and your gut says, what the heck is that? Get that out of here.
And it's happened with fried chicken. It's happened with a hamburger. The regular standard foods don't agree with me, but I can eat fruit from my yard. It doesn't bother me. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Dr. Bickman has talked about that in a different context. It's not about having, and again, I'm the worst person to try to explain this stuff because I don't understand it that great and I don't retain it that well. But he has said that carb cycling is not a bad thing at all for your body, but not because of microbiome. It's purely a metabolic thing. But he says whole foods, and just in them, and he does that himself. But it's whole foods in light amounts, and of course not processed foods or junk foods or fast foods. So yeah, I was going to say, if when you said things that don't agree with you, I was going to ask you what you were talking about. You're talking about bread or things of that nature, or
bread is the worst.
A
lot of times what'll happen if I go to a get together, I'm with people I know, they say, oh, Rick, you never want to try my stuff. I said, look, if I try this stuff, I'm going to be on the toilet in 3 hours. Yeah. And I'm just to prove it to them. And believe me, they never gave it to me again, because after what I did to the bathroom, then nobody would go in there for at least 15 minutes. So they found out when Rick comes to the party, you got to have steak and burgers and iguana, whatever.
It's going to be Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Exactly. It's like the worst thing for me is pizza. A pizza will destroy me.
Well, I would be willing to bet you $100, that it's a gluten thing, because you just don't eat that stuff. Yeah. And so gluten, especially in bread, wheat gluten, it makes a lot of people, that celiacs and Crohn's and all those different things that people have are definitely aggravated by gluten, primarily wheat.
And if they're putting other spices on it, since you primarily just use salt, don't you, Rick?
Barely even that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be, just something in one of the spices they're putting on it that's setting you off.
It's pizza with the crust. You're not eating just the pizza toppings. I mean, if they put some pepperoni and mushrooms and cheese and stuff in a bowl and you just ate it that way.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
when they throw the bread on there, then it's kaboom.
But interesting, if I take toppings off a regular pizza, it still bothers me. So there must be something else in it. But if I just take the cheese, the tomatoes don't bother me. I grow tomatoes in my yard. I make a fermented tomato sauce for my friends. I've eaten it with them, and I had no problem whatsoever. I've had oranges. I've had, bananas. Don't bother me a bit.
Yeah. But you're not getting any strangeness because you don't go out and spray your yard down with chemicals either.
No, I don't. That's true.
Yeah, it's and a lot of these pizza places don't use good cheese. They're using the cheapest junk cheese they can get their hands on. It's it's a cheese-ish.
The interesting thing, though, to me, and this is just maybe me, when I smell pizza, I smell vomit mixed with like other things. It's a weird sensation. But when I cook my own pizza, it's very delicious and I don't get sick from it. When I make Rick's Pacemaker pizza, which is the highest calorie pizza you'll ever get and deep fried, it's great and I love it. It's got a nice crunch to it. It tastes great. And everybody that's eaten it loves it. They said, man, this is a really good pizza. At first, they're thinking, I don't want to eat this. This is probably some iguanas, and whatever else Rick found in the dumpster. Like, try it. And they taste it. Oh, that's pretty good. It's got a nice crunch to it because the crust is made from chicken and eggs and cheese, and it's deep fried in pure lard. And then the toppings are put on it. It's stuck in the oven for maybe 10, 15 minutes just to melt it, usually about 10 minutes, and it's so good. It's such a delicious pizza. But you get this stuff that people buy, and it's horrible. Every single one of them, I get sick from it. It doesn't even taste good.
Yeah.
At least the burgers, they taste good. Somebody makes a high-end burger with the brioche bun or whatever, it tastes good. But in 3 hours, I'm on the toilet with violent diarrhea. But when I make a heart attack burger with my buns and all that bacon and cheese, not only does it taste good, but it makes you feel good. For hours after that, you feel satisfied and relaxed. I love it.
Nobody wants to talk about your buns. Hey, so is it that's the Saturday morning show, folks. So if you have thin crust or thick crust, does it matter, or is it all the same?
It's pretty much the same. It's
because that pan pizza from Pizza Hut years ago used to give me. I mean, when I was eating standard American diet, it was tearing me up because they soak it in oil, and when they cook it, and it's so greasy. Like, when we were kids, that was like a big thing. My parents used to go out. They had Pizza Huts like that were actual restaurants where you could go in and sit down and have, dinner with the family. It wasn't like they are now where it's just a little, and we go in there and we'd order pan pizzas, and it was so greasy. And when you pick it up, you had grease all over your hands and all that stuff. And I from when I was a kid, I developed a taste for thin crust. I didn't like all that bread. I didn't like all that grease. And of course, Bob, I don't know when you left Columbus, but was Donato's Pizza around when you
Are you kidding me? Donato's is some of the best pizza in the country, unless you go to my little hometown of Logan, Ohio. There's a place there called Pizza Crossing. And for the last 8 or 10 years, they've been voted the best pizza in Ohio.
Well, I'm a big Donato's Pizza fan, and I cannot lie. When I go home every September, I may or may not make a stop there, Donato's. And I worked with, the Grotes own that. The Grote family own that. They actually own it now, but they sold it to McDonald's and then bought it back. McDonald's had a discount. They sold it for like $20 million or something. This is 30, 40 years ago, and bought it back for like $4 million or something. They made a disaster. And I used to work with his son and his nephew in the Westerville, Ohio store. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about fun? We had so much fun.
Yeah. Well, the thing I remember most about Donato's is that you usually only got 2 or 3 toppings, because if you ordered 5 or 6 toppings, you couldn't pick it up because they put so much stuff on it.
Yes, it's edge to edge, and it was very, very generous. And I like very thin crust, edge to edge. That's my favorite kind. And when I go home, I do occasionally indulge. I cannot lie. I have to be honest with the family.
My chicken crust pizza is a thin crust pizza. I think you'd love it.
Yes, I listen. When I come to the Killing Fields, there, we're gonna indulge and all that. Bruce said he hasn't had raw milk since his grandfather milked his own cows when he was a kid. Yeah, I think my friend Jeanette said she loved raw milk. Don't do a lot of milk. I'm much more of a cream guy. So There you go. We talked it up. Oh, yeah, Giordano's. I've been there a few times too. You got to eat that with a shovel. That is deepest of deep dish pizzas. I mean, it takes them like an hour to make it, and it's like this much crust and this much cheese. It's like
Well, and there's a place right up on Ohio State's campus, right on High Street there, called the Flying Tomato.
Oh yeah,
and they made it was sort of a deep dish pizza, only it was like a 2.5, 3-inch deep thing. They would put a crust down, and then put sauce and cheese and all your toppings in. Then they'd lay another crust on top of that, and then sauce and cheese and more toppings, and then bake it. And it was really good.
Yes, you're having flashbacks.
Yeah, all the stuff I don't eat anymore. I mean, I wouldn't eat that stuff anymore, but I remember really liking that place.
We all have a past. Conor Key says in Japan, dum-dums make a vomit flavor. It's just a pizza flavor with sauce. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Chicago has hot dogs and deep dish pizza. Super Dogs. I've been to Super Dogs a couple of times too. Many moons ago. Well, look at what time it is, folks. Man, I can't believe Bob has made it to the end. Bob was here for the duration. My goodness, buddy, you're going to be asleep before your head hits the pillow.
Pretty close to it. I've been sitting here stretching my legs while we're talking because
we'll do one more. Rick, I'm certain, has a video about that somewhere on his channel, the pizza, don't you?
No, I don't. I tried to make a video and my camera overheated, and I haven't had enough eggs to make one. So if I ever do get enough eggs, I will make another video.
Did you drop your camera in the grease, man? Did you have a heart attack?
No, those little GoPro cameras, they love to overheat. I don't know what it is. The thing, you make the video, and then when you go to play it back, it's like 2 seconds of video and a bunch of static, and that's it. And I got frustrated, and I don't know. I guess it's too hot in the kitchen.
I got you, man. Oh, it's too hot. That's a great song by the Kool and the Gang there.
Yeah. Well, can I say one quick thing before you sign it off here?
Sure.
2 weeks, May the 11th.
Yes.
I'm having my special live stream at 5 p.m. Central.
That's right. That's
to celebrate both my 62nd birthday and my 3-year carnivore anniversary.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm talking about this right now is because both of these jokers are going to be guests on my special live stream.
Who are you calling a joker? I am a clown, my friend.
Excuse me. Both of these clowns are going to be guests on my live stream.
I can't speak for him. I can only speak for me. I am a clown. I am not a joker.
I'm a quack.
Yes, listen, I don't want to go anywhere, any place that they would invite me to, generally speaking, but I'm going to make I don't want to be a guest anywhere that would have me. But I'm gonna make an exception for my Buckeye brother by May the 11th. Be there or be square at 6 o'clock Eastern, right? 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern.
Yes,
which is like 6 o'clock the next morning Japan time, and I know that because Dave Mack is also going to be here.
Yes, we're going to do what we do, and hopefully you folks will enjoy it. And as always, man, thank you so much for being here with us. Hope you had fun. Hope you got a laugh or two. Enjoyed yourself. We will be back here next week with my dear, beautiful sister Laura will be here. And until then, as always, keep your carbs low, your proteins and fats high, and we will see you on the next one.